What's up, guys? Sub-Zerek here, back for kind of another VOD review, kind of not another VOD review. This is actually going to be sort of a double feature video. Mort put out this video today, Set 16 Lore and Legend Engaged Player Discussion, and is a 40-minute video where he goes through all of these kind of ideas about Set 16, some kind of expectations they want to put out. And so I'm going to go through this entire video, really the main takeaways from it, and talk through my thoughts on it. Quick takeaways is, my God, Set 16 is going to be the best set of all time, my God. But I don't want to just, leave you guys with a PowerPoint to watch. I want to give you guys a VOD as well. So we are going to watch one of the greatest TFT players to ever do it. Future multi-time world winner Panny Andrew here on a game that he played during playtest here, because I want some VODs from playtest. And the kitty is moving my mic, so hey, do not bite that, kitty. Do not bite that. Don't do that, kitty. Don't do that, kitty. But yeah, so we're gonna watch some Panny Andrew. This is a fun game that I was actually in. I forget which number I was, but I was in this game, and he played around a very fun trait. But the main focus of this video is going to be kind of like talking through these main ideas that Mort brought up in this video, because he actually made a lot of really important announcements. Wow, is this guy the most boring player of all time? He skipped 2 new augments and just took freaking whatever warpath. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go down the list. Someone on Reddit kind of created like a list of the main takeaways. But I would say as well, I'll have the link to Mort's video in the description down below. Go check out the full video as well, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. If you are an engaged TFT player, you should go watch it. It's kind of funny. He was like, if you're an engaged TFT player, if you're somebody who plays over 100 games a set, and I think it's actually very intentional from Mort to say, an engaged player is someone who plays more than 100 games a set, because like to most people, they're like, what? Doesn't everyone play more than 100 games a set? But like, no, there are a lot of casuals who, play barely any games. Also, just to talk about it, in case you guys are looking at the board, what's going on here. Bilgewater is this really cool trait where you get silver serpents every single round, and you get more for takedowns and more for putting more Bilgewater in. And then you get this silver serpents shop that you can open that has units in it. It's got buffs for the Bilgewater units. You can re-roll your stuff in there. And once you get to a certain amount, I think it's 500 silver serpents earned across the course of the game, you get Thomas Kench. You get the 5-cost Tom Kench that eats people. So we'll see if Mr. Andrew makes it there this game. But okay, let's go down the list from what Mort said. The first big kind of takeaway he said is, if a forcible, also shout out to Toast Simp on Reddit for writing all this out. If a forcible vertical comp on final board is considered S tier, it will likely be nerfed. Bless Riot Games. I mean, I feel like they're actually just hearing all of the criticisms from Set 15 and previous sets and saying, remember how we had to play at least 5 Battle Academia every single time we played Yuumi? No longer. They're very interested in making it so that we can play, 3 Battle Academia, and there's no Battle Academia next set, but whatever it is next set, 2 Void and play around stuff. They really want us to be playing these very horizontal boards, is what people say. A lot of small traits in. Is Demacia 3? Demacia is a 3 trait, I think. 3 Demacia, 2 Void, 2 Piltover, 2 Zon, playing all this kind of stuff. A bunch of 5 costs with unique traits in. Like, all of this they want to be playable, which I think is fantastic for TFT. Makes the games much more interesting, gives you guys so much more, gives everyone much more decision making, right? There's not, right now, if you go queue up a game live of Set 15, it's really, really tough to, if you're rolling down for your Yuumi comp, you can play 5 Battle Academia, and then you can play, 4 Prodigy, and you can play a Cassante, or you can sometimes play a Poppy on your board, but not even really. It's not even that good. And like, maybe you hit a Seraphine, and so you can swap some stuff in and out, but it's like there's so little flexibility, and so they're really trying to fix this with next set. I am really looking forward to the amount of cooking that people are doing next set. And one of the things that is going to happen is that the skill ceiling of TFT is going to go up a lot if they actually nail this. And I am confident that they can nail this, because this is one of these sets where we're going to have the Paris Open on it. They're putting a ton of resources into making sure this is the best set of all time. And I mean, it's gonna be. It's straight up gonna be. So that's the first one, which I think is a fantastic. And you can see as you get more Bilgewater in, you get more silver serpents, and you can also get more like better stuff here. Essentially, you can also get items. I totally, because I didn't play enough of Bilgewater, but you can also get these Bilgewater items from the shops as well. I only played like 3 Bilgewater in my game. But okay, so that's the first one. And the second one's a little bit related to it. And I'm actually really curious how this goes over. If a reroll comp, forcible 1, 2, 3 cost 3-star comp is the strongest comp, there will be adjustments. They're really coming for reroll this set. Like Mort has said, like the majority of people should be playing fast 8, fast 9 because that is way more flexible, right? He doesn't want people to be locking in their comp 2-1 and saying, I must play this reroll comp 2-1 because I got, 3-cost portal where everyone gets a 3-cost and everyone just locks into a line. I think that's very, very good for TFT because it does feel horrible when you can scout the entire lobby at 2-1 and know what everybody is playing. Like that's just... One, it's not really fun because it takes so much skill expression out of the game. It makes it really hard for you to you can optimize your items and augments and things like that. But like actively pivoting on lines, I feel like is such a cool form of skill expression that has not existed in the game for a long time. So that's something that's gonna be back in the game. But I do wonder for people out there, tell me in the comments if you're somebody who loves playing reroll, like you like playing reroll every game. Are you guys like afraid of this? I mean, Mort is saying it's not like they're gonna make reroll unplayable. They're not gonna like say you can't ever play reroll, but it's going to be more conditional. You should not be going into a game saying I want to force this reroll comp without seeing anything, which is good for TFT. But I wonder for casual players how that will come across. But I do think I am excited for more of this flex TFT to exist, where you see a random 4-cost and you're like, okay, I'm going to pivot into this line, or I'm going to play them randomly on my board, throw some items onto them, but then maybe later I'll pivot into a different line. Like that kind of TFT is so good, so fun, and we've lost a lot of that recently. One of the things that is a concern though is, if Fast 8 and Fast 9 is really, really good, is every game just going to be 5-cost soup? And Mort actually kind of seemed okay with 5-cost soup existing, but he wanted it to be that you aren't always playing the same 5-cost soup. So like what he says here is essentially, if the same legendaries are being used too often, they will likely be adjusted. So, if every single 5-cost board has always a Shyvana and a Zir and who's another 5-cost, a Rise on it or something like that, then they're going to adjust down those units. They want it to be, okay, this game I got an early Azir, so okay, I'm going down the Shrima path. But then, like next game, okay, I get this early, wow, Andrew got 2 Annies, what the heck? Or, like, oh, I get these Annies, okay, I'll play around Annie. Or Fiddlesticks, I'll play around that. I don't even know what Lysandra is. I haven't got a chance to play around her at all. But he's gonna sell them all, I guess. But yeah, like also where did that loot come from, by the way? Am I losing my mind? What did he just cash out? Poppy, Kobuko. Oh, that was from just 7 Bilgewater. My God, that was insane. He got 2 full items and a bunch of 5-costs. That's like win the game. What? Okay, whatever. I mean, it's 7 Bilgewater. I guess it's hard to reach, but he got it actually so quick. With the spat and then the reinforcement for the, yeah. I mean, his spot actually looks insane. Like, how am I supposed to play against this? I think I'm the Caitlyn player in this lobby. I'm the 2nd place here. With the Caitlyn little legend. But like how do you even play against this? Oh yeah, this is me. I think with the Kog'Maw set up here. But okay, so I think that's a very, very good idea to say like, okay, if all these 5-costs are just super, getting played every single game, what they really want this set is for there to be a lot more flexibility, there to be a lot more, a lot of variety. I mean, there's 100 units in the set. So if the same units are always popping up, that's an absolute failing of this set. So that's one thing that I think they can get pretty easily, actually. I think a lot of people are like, how are they going to balance 100 units? Well, balancing a unit is a lot easier than balancing a unit with, all the power-ups that they had to balance last set. It's actually way easier to balance, I would say, like 100 units with, just their base unit than it is to balance, 60 units with all these power-ups that they have to enable for. So I'm actually pretty confident in their ability to balance this, especially once again, because they are, oh, wait, did he roll over? Oh, or did it bug out? Because he's supposed to see Tahm Kench, or maybe it's next round that he sees Tahm Kench, because he didn't see it here, which is really weird. He should be seeing Tahm Kench here. That either bugged out, or maybe it's going to appear next round. But okay, whatever. All right. Next one is there's this new encounter called Emblem Ensemble, which is basically the new Golem encounter. That's going to be monitored, especially around competitive play. And give me 2 seconds, actually. Okay, I had to go pull it up because I hadn't looked at the full patch rundown. So Emblem Ensemble, it's the same as Trainer Golems, except you don't get a Golem. You get 3 emblems. You can equip them. You can put them on units. Yeah, he did end up getting the Tom Kenshiro, I see. I mean, I think one of the ideas that I think they kind of talk about is the really cool thing about this is you can reforge these emblems now. Like it gives you more play patterns essentially, which I think is really, really smart and very, very cool. Like I'm hyped for that. But they also are saying like if these games like are still these like huge RNG fests that players hate, then they're gonna get rid of them. They're I mean, you know, maybe pre down to 2 emblems or something like that, because they know casuals really like this. But I mean, it really seems like they are investing so much in the competitive players this set. But I do also think like I don't think this set will be not casual friendly by any means. Like I do think this is going to be an incredibly popular set for casuals. But we'll see how some of these ideas end up happening, like the lack of reroll, you know, potentially, you know, taking out golems if it ends up, you know, being an issue later. Next one, I think, okay, so he talks about this kind of like different approach to artifacts this set. Used to be that they said, you know, artifacts, it's fine if there's a unit, and an artifact is only good on one specific unit. So Luden's Echo, you know, as an example, based on their old kind of like framework, it's totally fine for them if Luden's Echo only exists on Ahri. But they, I think, realized this set that that's like not good for the game at all. If you take a Luden's, you must play Ahri, and then Ahri's balance becomes very, very intertwined with Hollow, no, not Hollow Purpose, Infinite Void. Her balance becomes very intertwined with the Luden's Echo balance, right? If Luden's Echo, you know, gets nerfed really hard, then Ahri, you know, by definition gets nerfed really hard. Like you can't really play around Ahri without Luden's sometimes. And so they're basically retroactively, they're kind of going back on all of that, and they're saying, okay, we're not doing that anymore. Also, yeah, this is me dying here. I tried to go fast 10 to play Baron Nashor in Void, and it did not work. We're going back on that. So 2 things. One is that they want these they want artifacts to be worse than Radiance. If a champion is an artifact item delta over a Radiant item, that will require action on the next patch. So they're going to make sure that no artifacts are so broken on these units that they are better than Radiant items. And the other idea is they've brought a lot of power out of the artifacts and made them a little bit more generic. They aren't these like really, really specific, you know, do these crazy things. They are just like kind of cool things that can augment your champions a lot. I think this is fantastic. I do think, you know, the current way that the artifact system works is like a little rough, where, yeah, I mean, like Ahri being a fantastic example, the unit literally had to be buffed or had to be balanced around Luden's, and then Luden's had to be removed from the game. I mean, they just end up having to do this whack-a-mole every set where people find some kind of broken artifact unit interaction, and then the unit either gets nerfed really hard, or the artifact gets nerfed really hard, or the artifact, you know, gets, you know, Silvermere Dawn gets completely reworked and then sucks until people kind of realize how to play around it. It's cool, you know, in theory, to have these artifacts that, you know, can completely change how you play the game. But in practice, it's just not that enjoyable of an experience. And so I hope with this new system that they can get a lot of the fun of artifacts without a lot of just the, you know, degenerative effects of them. Similarly to this, actually, and this kind of goes into the next point, the final point, which I think is such an important point, and is the thing I'm most excited about. But the penultimate point. If Portable Forge is over a 4.4 average placement, Mort will announce it, and artifacts will have their power reduced in the next patch. So huge, I don't know why I was thinking complexity, transparency from Mortdog on literal augment stats. If Portable Forge is above this, he's going to say it's this, and we're going to nerf artifacts next set. I think that's really important, but it's actually really just a piece of the next one, which is all augments should be between a 4.2 and a 4.8 placement. And for the first month, and he said he might do it even for further after the first month, but he's going to guarantee the first month, Mortdog will post publicly the list of every augment that is outside this range. So we are almost getting augment stats back, actually. Mort is going to give us a list of the augments that are outliers, and this is all I could ever ask out of the augment stat ban, because, you know, I said my biggest concern with the augment stat ban, the biggest concern from a lot of people is, okay, we're banning augment stats, but, you know, this set, Tiny Beyond, Evil Beyond Measure, that's what it's called. For a bunch of this set, I don't even know when it stopped being bugged. For a bunch of the set, Tiny Beyond Measure, Evil Beyond Measure, was bugged to only work on auto attacks. So this augment just sucked. It was just not a good augment. Even though if you read it and it actually, you know, made sense, oh, I'm playing, you know, Cinder reroll, I'll take this. It should make sense. It should be good, but no, because it was bugged in that way, it was just untakeable. You know, on the units that, you know, it should have been good on. I think Andrew had another game here. Yeah, let's like just hop into another random game that he was watching. So yeah, like Andrew. So yeah, Evil Beyond Measure, you know, bugged for the, you know, it probably averaged like a 5 point something for like early on in the set, which is just, you know, unacceptable. And so first patch, if that exists and Evil Beyond Measure is, you know, a 5.1, that's going to be public information for everyone. I think that is fantastic. I think that is amazing transparency, that it's taking us in the right direction. And if we're not going to have augment stats, because Mort did say we are not going to have augment stats, like they're not coming back. And, you know, I mean, things could always change with TFT, but he seems pretty confident that augment stats are not coming back. I think this is a very, very, very good alternative to augment stats existing, where we just say, okay, we are going to publicly post, these are the augments that are, the ideal is that, you know, these are the augments that are bugged, but I think this is almost an even better kind of idea here, where it's like, okay, we're not going to just tell you straight up like this is what's bugged, but we are going to say, you know, these are the ones that are performing really poorly. These are the ones that are performing really well. It gives extra information. But what I really love is they're still leaving that 4.2 to 4.8 range kind of hidden, which does still give you the benefit of taking augment stats out, right? You still have the upside of, you know, people don't see an augment that's 4.2 and say, I must take this every time. Because sometimes an augment is a 4.2, but you're not supposed to take it. Sometimes it's a 4.8 and you are supposed to take it. That's the idea behind the augment stats removal, right? They don't want to just take all this decision making out of TFT and just have it come down to click whatever is best on you know, what is best AVP. And I think this is actually a really good way of like threading that needle, where they're going to tell us about what the super outliers are, but they are not going to they're not going to, you know, post exact stats. So yeah, that is everything that Mort said. I mean, there's a lot more in the video, so you guys should watch the entire full video. I do think, oh, I guess this is not in that first post, but someone else said something as well. I covered most of this. Actually, yeah, there's a few other things that I think are kind of important that someone else did in another post. They're making it so there's less 2-1 augments that just lock you into a comp. Chef's kiss, another, you know, beautiful step in the direction of making it less, you know, just like boom, you pick your line at 2-1 and play it. And the other thing that is important is that they're gonna have Christmas break. They're gonna have 16.2 after Christmas break, which is supposed to be a big patch. And then they're going to try to have less swingy patches. This directly addresses, you know, the balance thrashing that existed so much last set, where legit you have a comp like Akali that's really, really strong, and they literally say this comp doesn't exist anymore. Get out of there, which I think is another fantastic goal, and one that I think would be really good, because it was a real bummer. A lot of you know, last set where you spend all this time learning a comp, and then the comp just literally doesn't exist the next patch. Like, it's just not fun for TFT. So that's everything. Let me know what you guys think about all of these changes from Mort. One of the other kind of like big things that this just does signify is that Mort's being more invested into TFT this set. Obviously, he kind of like took a break last set to go help Riot on some like secret Riot Games project, but he is back, baby, this set, and he is putting so much work into this set to make this. It seems like, I mean, I'm really optimistic about this set. I'm very optimistic about this set. I'm really optimistic about the set mechanic. I think there's possible like ways where it could go wrong. I am not, you know, completely naive, but I do think this has the makings of potentially best set of all time. All right, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments down below. I will have already streamed by the time this video comes out, I think, because I already posted a video today. Yes, but I'm going to be back to streaming because, you know, set 16 is out. So I streamed today on Sunday. I hope that I actually did that and didn't flake on it. But I'm going to be streaming more when PBE comes out next week. You know, everything up to the Paris Open, which obviously I'm going to be, you know, traveling for that, so I won't be streaming then. But I'm going to be streaming a lot more going up to that. So go follow my Twitch if you do not follow my Twitch already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.